Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it so very much. Today is my third and final of my palette collection. I have my third tote bag here full of palettes that I own. So I thought I would go through them and show you what I have. All right, so the first palette I have in here is from Becca. This is the Ocean Jewels Eye Palette. This is such a pretty palette. It's very basic, but this color right here, this purple, is so gorgeous. I wore this a lot this summer when I was working, and I got so many compliments on it. I really love it. It's a great palette. I really loved it. Yeah. Next is Ocean Sunset from Lorac, and this is the third one. My other two are my part 2 of my palettes. So in case you want to watch those, I will link them somewhere close by, probably in the description box. I decided to break this into 3 parts because I had so many. This is the Pure Love Your Selfie palette. I should show you. Love Your Selfie 2, and it has some blushes as well as eyeshadows. I picked this up in the Ipsy deals that they do they do it every day. And every so often there's something that I'm interested in. So that's where I got that one. The next one I have is Pure. This is the Creator palette, which is actually a magnetized palette. So you can take these all out and rearrange them and add and take out, because this is just a cushion. It also opens up so that the mirror, when you stand it, it goes like this so you can actually see the mirror. So that's a pretty cool palette. Like I've said in my last 2 videos, there's a lot that I need to use more because I haven't used this one that much so far. I am not decluttering any palettes in this video just because I want to give all of them a chance, and some of them I haven't given a chance yet, so I don't want to just declutter them willy-nilly, but I will have updates later on. Next is from Voss. This is the Flamingo palette. I love this palette. It was a great summer palette. There are the shades, such pretty bright colors. I used this a lot this summer once I got it. I didn't get it until like sometime in July, I want to say. So I wish I had it all summer because I probably would have gotten even more use out of it. And I got it because I picked up the Violet Voss Pro hashtag palette. And this thing I have used like crazy. I'm turning it upside down so you can see it. It has gorgeous colors. These shimmers are so wonderful. I love them. And it's a lot of pinks and purples, which is just what I really love. So I really enjoy that palette. I know I haven't tried this palette at all. This is the e.l.f. Mad for Matte Jewel Pop palette. I picked this up at Burlington because they had it for pretty cheap. There's some cool colors in there, but I just haven't gotten around to using that one yet. Next up is a Marc Jacobs palette. This is the Night Owl palette. The packaging is always so cool on these. This is what it looks like. Some nice bright pops of colors. I love this color right here and this one. Those are 2 of my favorites. It does have a little nick in it. I got this from TJ Maxx, so sometimes they're not the best quality, but as long as they haven't been swatched, I'm happy. I don't care if they have like a little nick out of them. This is the Lorac Pro palette. This is the original one. I don't know why it's dirty though. That's weird. I don't know if I've used this palette either. It's kind of plain and boring. Lots of neutral colors, but a good like everyday palette. I need to do like divide up my palette somehow so that I have everyday palettes versus not everyday palettes, and then maybe rotate a little bit more because some of these get lost in the shuffle. Next up is from Colored Raine. This is the Queen of Hearts palette. This is such a cool palette. I really wanted this because of the name, because it is Alice in Wonderland, which is one of my things that I love so much. It has really pretty colors. I have not actually tested it on my eyes yet because I just have never gotten around to it. It does make me sad that this is what the palette looks like and this is the sleeve. So I do keep it in its sleeve because it looks so much nicer because it's so boring with that black. Next is the NYX Happy Birthday palette, which was the birthday gift last year from Ulta. And this is a great palette, actually. Like a really good warm toned palette. I was glad that it's a free gift because I've really enjoyed using it. This probably should have been in my mini palettes, but somehow it got lost in my bigger palettes. It's the Too Faced Peanut Butter and Jelly palette, and this is what it looks like. It does have a scent. I don't know if it necessarily smells like peanut butter, but it does have some pretty colors in it. I think I picked this up at TJ Maxx. That's usually where I get a lot of my palettes. Next up I have from Milani. This is the Most Loved Mattes. And it has some pretty colors in it too. This kind of reminds me of the Tarte Toasted palette. I don't own that one, but yeah, I need to start using this one. There's a lot that I need to start using. This is another one. This is the Urban Decay Kristen Lee Ann palette. The, which one is this? This is the Kaleidoscope Dream, which is just kind of a crazy palette. It's all over the place. I do like some of the colors in here. It's really hard to do a look from this palette though, unless you're sticking over here with the blues and you're doing a pretty much all shimmery look, which sometimes I do, because sometimes you just want to. Next is from Stila. This is the Eyes of the Window Soul palette. This is very much browns and pretty boring colors, but it does have some shimmers in it. I bought these on sale when Stila had a big sale, and I've never used them. I got them in like March or April, and I still haven't used them. Next is the Eyes of the Window Spirit palette. Same thing. I like this colors better, but I think it's because I like these two. It makes it seem like a more interesting palette. So that's another one that needs to be used. And then I have the Body palette, and I don't know, Eyes of the Window Body palette. I don't know why this one has different packaging, but this one is probably the most fun of all of them because it does have those purples and blues and like greeny blues in it. These I actually want, the next ones I want to take out of my like makeup drawer where I keep my eyeshadows, because for the most part these are not palettes that I have to wear. They're for my collection because I do collect makeup, and some of it I don't use. I just let sit there because I want either the packaging or the collection. So I'm going to open these and I will show you that. Right. So these are all the Nars Andy Warhol collection, and I got these all from Zulily quite a bit after the fact when it came out because they were really expensive, and especially because I knew they were going to be collector pieces. I didn't want to spend a lot on them, and plus I'm not going to pay $60 for each one of these compacts, which I think is what they were. They all have sayings from Andy Warhol on the mirror, so I can't show you those unfortunately, but I can show you the palettes. This first one is Flowers 2. So they're a little different layout, so they actually look like a piece of artwork, which is really cool, but it's a little hard to actually like use as a palette. And then I have Flowers 1. So that's what that one looks like. And then I have 2 of the self-portraits. This first one is Portrait 2. Let's see what the best way to show it is. And then I also have Portrait 1. No, this is Self-Portrait 2. Sorry, that was Portrait 1 that I just showed. This is Self-Portrait 2. And I have 2 of this one because the original one came and it's pretty smashed, unfortunately. I don't want to tilt it too much. I don't know what to do with this palette because I don't really want to wear it, but I also don't want to just throw it out because I think it's usable. So if you have an idea of what I can do with that, let me know, because I would really love to know what to do with it. All right, my next palette is from Too Faced. This is the I Want Candy palette. I love that it actually looks like an old-fashioned box of candy, which is so fun. And this is what it looks like inside. It is kind of bulky packaging, but I am okay with that. I love the shades. I think it's a really pretty palette, and it smells nice, which is always a bonus with the Too Faced palettes. I also have this one from Makeup Forever. This is the Lustrous Shadow palette, which was a holiday palette, I believe last year, maybe 2 years ago. I don't remember. If you remember, let me know. That is what it looks like. Good mix. There's only 3 shimmers right here in the center, but the rest are matte, so you can get some really cool looks. It's not the easiest packaging because it is a little bulky, but it is cool. I did leave this on because it's one of those kind of sticky, plasticky things. Next is from NYX. This is the Dublin palette. I got this because I am Irish, and Dublin, had to get that one. If they had any Norwegian ones, I probably would have gotten the Norway one too. I love that pop of green, plus this lipstick, the Dublin lipstick. Really like that one. It's a really pretty color. This one is one that I probably would not be as sad to see go. This is the Sephora and Pantone Universe Modern Watercolors Eye Palette. And it's kind of interesting because the sheet that is on it has all of the Pantone numbers on it. That's not going to show it very well. Let's see if that... So you can read all of the Pantone numbers, and this is what it looks like. It's being really reflective. There's a lot of very light colors in it, so it's not the easiest palette to work with unless you want to do a lot of pastels. So I've had that one. That's one of my earlier palettes. I don't reach over it that much. I have the original BH Cosmetics and Carly Bible palette. This one I really liked, and I don't know why I stopped using it, but it does have a really good mix of colors, lots of shimmers, some pretty highlights. This one, that's probably my favorite highlight from the palette. So that one is nice. This one I have barely used. I remember I tried to get this one. I was so mad because Ulta messed up my system so I couldn't order anything. All of the online exclusives during the 21 days I couldn't get. So I had my dad order this and sent to a different state to get it. And then with the shipping and everything, it was not that big of a discount as opposed to if I had gotten my free shipping because I was platinum. So that is what it looks like. It's really, there's a lot of light shades. I don't like that there's no shimmers, which is always something that I am drawn to. Yeah, that's what I need to use. Same with my cargo palettes. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad about using these. I think they're pretty, and then I just never get around to using them. This is the Getaway palette, and this is what it looks like. It does have a little brush in it. Why is it being so reflective? That white doesn't want to show up very well, does it? I don't think I've used it, to be honest. And I don't think I've used this one either, which I was so excited about. The Emerald City palette. And I love it because it does have those greens. It's a really good palette, actually. This one I need. It's going to go into my rotation. From Ciate London, this is the Chloe Murillo palette, volume 2. This did not perform as well as I was hoping it would, but I got it because I loved the color scheme. Like those reds, the purples, the greens, some really pretty colors, but they're really hard to get them to actually show up. So that was disappointing. Some of my favorite palettes are from Tarte. This is the Be a Mermaid, Make Some Waves palette. I love this palette so much. The shades in here are so wonderful. You can get beautiful looks from it. This is a great like everyday palette, which seems probably weird because it's a mermaid palette, but I really love it. I would wear it every day if I didn't have other palettes to use. From Pure, this was a gift. My mom found this at Kohl's and was like, well, this is a cool palette. So she picked it up and I have not used it. This is the Goal Digger palette. So that is what it looks like. It's pretty enough, but it's just not a lot of colors I reach for. Same kind of with this. This is the Rainforest of the Sea Volume 3 palette. I really wanted this of the three. I'm a completionist, so I like to have complete sets. And I wanted this one after I got the second one, and I'm still looking. I haven't gotten the first one. That is on my list, the first Rainforest of the Sea palette. It's beautiful colors, but I feel like this is, like, I need to use this to complement this palette that I never reached for either. The Tarte Clay Play palette, Volume 1. I made myself use it for a week, but it wasn't my favorite, and I haven't reached for it since. But I think that if I combine this with the other one, since it's basically all shimmers and this is all mattes, I might get more use out of both of those. So when I organize all of my palettes again, I want to try to put things like that together so that I reach for them together. From Urban Decay, this is a really old palette. This is one of my original palettes. I love that sound. I don't know why I love that sound, but it's fun. This, I don't even know what palette this is. It doesn't say on it. I've had it absolutely forever. And I use the sponge applicators because I've had this for longer than I've been on YouTube. Scratch has hit pan because that's like my favorite shade. I also like Shag. I wear that one a lot. But these colors, oh my gosh, I always get compliments when I wear these colors. And it's just, it's a beautiful palette. I love this one. And I need to go back to it because I haven't used it as much lately because of all the other stuff that I have. This is the Distortion palette from Urban Decay, which I got during the weekly Wow at Sephora. And I need to start using it because I don't think I've actually used it. Like Hotbox, that's a great green. I need to start using more. Yeah. This palette is from Sephora. This is the Sun Bleached Filter, and it's a very kind of boring palette. Lots of light shades. Let's see if it doesn't want to glare. See if moving those helps at all. I like to use this in conjunction with darker palettes because you can or like glitter palettes. You can use that for a base, get everything set up, and then put a highlight on. This is the one that I like to use the most with it. This is the Blank BoxyCharm palette, the Electric Eye. Oh my gosh, these 5 shades that I haven't been swatching, but oh my gosh, they are so beautiful. They're all like that. I love this palette. It's so pretty. So that's why I like to use that one in conjunction with the Sephora palette. From Elizabeth Arden, this was one of the palettes that you get with their big holiday sets. Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. Why have I never used this? Look at those colors. This is the, it doesn't say what it is. It's just an 8 eyeshadow palette. Man, let's see what the other Elizabeth Arden looks like that I have. Okay, this one's more boring. This one's all like browns and still pretty, but not quite as spectacular. Next up, I have this one that a good friend of mine gave me, and I love her to death, and I know she was so excited to give me this, but I know it's not actually MAC, and I am terrified to use it because of like what goes on in China and making non-name brand cosmetics. And so I won't actually use this, but it sits there, so it's going to be part of my collection. It's really, like, there's some pretty colors, but I value my eyesight too much to wear it. It just makes me nervous. If you're watching, I love you. Thank you for it. It just makes me scared. One more from Marc Jacobs in this round. This is the Dreamer palette. Oh my gosh. Use this one all the time too. These shimmers here on the end are so gorgeous. I mean, I already swatched one, so I might as well swatch another. It's a really pretty everyday palette as well. We are getting closer to the end. As I say, as I probably have like 20 palettes left. Next up is from Winky Luxe. This came in a boxy charm as well. This is the Kitten palette. So cute. Some great shades. This one is like a duochrome. So just a really nice palette. I need to use this one more too. I need to quit saying that because I have so many. Crown Brush did this palette in boxy charm, the Glam Metals palette. The mirror is in the shape of a guitar, which is really fun. That is what it looks like. This one is not as much my speed, so that one might end up being eliminated later on. From Makeup Forever, this is the 9 Shadow Pans. I don't know if they say, oh, this is volume 2. I was trying to remember where it said what number it was. This is the first one that I got from this series. This is what it looks like, because this is why I was drawn to it. Those purples, that blue, that pink, and they were on clearance, so that would made a big difference in me getting it. This is number 3. It feels lighter than the other one. That's weird. Also, beautiful colors. This would be a great spring palette with those pinks and the yellow and the lilac. Yeah, nice one. And then I also have 4. The only one I don't have is 1, which was like all of the neutrals. Very bland palette. This is the all matte palette from them. So not quite as fun and exciting as the previous 2. From Pure, this is the Soiree Diaries. I don't know why that says, it's hard to say. This came in boxy charm as well. Oh my gosh, as I completely almost drop it. This is what the shades look like. This was a pretty nice palette, and I do like it. I just never reach for it either. I have a couple more from Pure. This is the Trolls palette. I got this because Trolls were like a huge part of my childhood. I loved them and I liked the colors, and actually this was my first Pure palette and everything worked so well in this palette. Just not the colors so much you would think of for Trolls, but man, is this a good palette. I really love it. This also has a good formula. This is the My Little Pony, the movie palette. Not as easy to use color-wise. Lots more bright pops of color in there, but I do really like this. I heard from Angelica Nyquist, I think that's how you say your name, that each quad is supposed to be a look together, which makes a little bit more sense the way they are arranged, but I do like that palette. I just haven't reached for it lately. One that I have, this is my second one of this because the other one is part of my collection. It is the Sephora Gem and the Holograms palette. Gem and the Holograms was my favorite cartoon growing up. My dad used to get up at 5 a.m. every day to record it for me. And oh my gosh, I loved it. So when they did the anniversary collection, I was all about it. I got backups of everything basically when they went on clearance, or I found some of them at TJ Maxx. I was so excited. So I got an extra one of this because it has just amazing colors. I mean, gem, pink. Of course, you need like a backup. And it's also like the packaging is that glitter, but that doesn't come off on your fingers, unlike the Sultry, which is kind of doing it now. Another one that this is my second one because I have the original one that I bought still in its original container. This one looks awful because these glitters, like especially this one, just go everywhere. So it's not the cleanest looking palette right now. It is, I shouldn't say what it was, sorry. The Urban Decay Gwen Stefani palette. Gwen Stefani, my favorite singer of all time. I love her so much. So excited when this came out. Bought like everything in the collection. Got extras of a lot of it so that I had one to keep and one to use. This is the one that I got to use. And I actually took this, I was in Poland for 10 days. And that's the palette I took because it had pops of color, but it also was neutral, and I didn't have nearly as much as I do now. It was a great palette to take for that trip. Next up is Stila. This is the Matte and Metal palette. It's really pretty. I haven't used it like my other 3 Stilas that I already showed you today. So, yep, that's another one that needs to be used. Another one that came in BoxyCharm, this is the Studio on the Go makeup, or Studio Makeup on the Go. This is the Cool palette, I think. They had 2 of them. It's the Cool Down, that's what it is. That is what it looks like. One of the reasons why I signed up for BoxyCharm in the first place was when I started seeing palettes like this in it. And that really drew me in. This also came in BoxyCharm, Rainforest of the Sea Volume 2. This could be a BoxyCharm commercial in a lot of ways because of all the palettes. That is what it looks like. It is not my favorite because it's not the prettiest of colors for me. I prefer more bright colors, more shimmery colors. As I look like I have a very neutral look. Yeah, this had a lot of shimmer in it when I started out this morning. From Estee Lauder, this is another palette from like their holiday sets. It has a little bit of everything. Eyeshadows, blush, bronzer, highlight. I don't think I have even touched it. Probably not the best plan. From Urban Decay, the Moondust palette. I got this from the Sephora Weekly Wow. The same with the Clay Play palette that I talked about earlier. I need to use some of these. Man, look at how glittery those are. Maybe I should add more to my look. Not that I have any brushes with me right now. But yeah. From Kristen Leanne, another one from the Urban Decay collection. It is the Daydream palette. I liked this one because it was like so basic. Beautiful pop of pink in there, or peachy pink. Good, everyday, no brain needed palette, which some days I just need. This I picked up at a drugstore, I don't remember, because it was like $2, and I was like, that's pretty. And I don't know, so shopping is my therapy. That is what it looks like. I just got a mug yesterday that says, I'm not shopping, I'm stimulating, or I'm helping the economy. And I was like, I need that because that's me, very much so. Urban Decay Troublemaker palette. I need to use this more because I was so excited to get it. And have I used it very much? No. But look at those colors up there. Oh, so gorgeous. And I love Urban Decay. I need to figure out a good way to organize this, like my palettes and setup. From Cargo, I have the Dark Side and the Light Side. These are the Star Wars palettes that they did last year. I'm not even a Star Wars fan. I watched episode 1 because I had a friend who was so excited that I was a Star Wars virgin and could watch all the movies in order. And I got through the first one and I was like, nope, I'm done. Never again. And I know like people really like them and say to start with episode 4. I'm just like, I am a geek and I love my DC, and I love Lord of the Rings and fantasy and Harry Potter. Like that's one of my biggest fandoms. But I'm just not into science fiction. I just am not drawn to it unless it's really funny, like Red Dwarf or Doctor Who. I find that they are more humorous, and it's British, so it's a British humor, which is what I enjoy. So I'm not a Star Wars fan, but I thought these were cute and I loved the packaging, and I had to get both of them because if you get one, you need the other one. I love that they did the sparkly on the inside because it's like outer space. So this is the dark side. Some really pretty colors in there. And I kept the packaging because why not? I might actually get rid of the packaging though. And then the light side, I got this because very much my shade family. But I think because they are in their boxes still, that I haven't reached for them because they're still in their boxes. Academy of Color, I got these at Kohl's. I got those at Kohl's, but I got these at Kohl's. Also, I have 3 of them. This is the first one, the peach palette, and it's supposed to be peach scented. It has a very light scent to it. These remind me of the Kylie palettes, just the layout and stuff. I do like these, I just never, they get kind of buried. This is the metallic one. Lots of metallics in there. Some really pretty metallics in there actually. And then the Mulberry palette, which is also so pretty. And these are $10.99 at Kohl's, and you can use your 30% off coupon on them and earn all of your goodies with it as well. And the last time I was at Kohl's, they were doing buy one, get one 50% off of almost all of their makeup. So yeah, Kohl's is a good place for makeup too. This one, this is the Kat Von D and Too Faced Better Together palette. I love the Too Faced side. Very much all of the shades that I would wear. And then I am not as crazy about the Kat Von D side, but I got it for 2 colors right there in the center. Darling and Swoon. I wanted those 2. I do actually sometimes mix these 2 palettes together. I do think it's fun that they connect like this. I usually store them like this so they lay flat. But it is a fun palette. Final palette of the collection, and it kind of brings me full circle for this video. It is the Becca Apri Ski Glow Eyeshadows. I know people hated this palette and they really hated on it. I love this palette. I wear it. I wore it so much last year and I can't wait. I need to break it back out and wear it some more. It's so shimmery. Beautiful shades. There is only one kind of matte. It's more of a satin right here. It's so beautiful. All of these, like the rose gold, the pearl. I really do enjoy this palette. I love it. Yeah, that was the end of my palettes. I have no idea how many I have because the other 2 have been pretty high and they're all about equal tote bag wise. And this of course isn't even counting any of my new stuff that I hauled recently. So anything from September, October, or November has not been included in this. Yeah. So let me know what your thoughts were on these palettes, if there's some that you think that I should eliminate or not. Ones that you think I should keep, let me know those as well. I hope you are all having a fantastic day. I want to know which of these palettes you have and you love, or if there's a palette that you haven't seen that I have, that you saw that I don't have, that you think I need to add. I would love to know that as well. I can't wait to read your comments and to have a conversation with you down below. I hope you are having a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.